Other than deep dish pizza and cold winters, there is nothing more Chicago than the Bears. The Chicago Bears, or the Bears, as they call them in Chicago. But the Bears could soon be joining a growing list of businesses leaving the Windy City over high taxes, an antagonistic governor, and an incompetent mayor. Indiana is offering to help build the Bears a multi-billion-dollar stadium just over the Illinois-Indiana line. If the Bears leave Illinois, they will join companies like Boeing, Citadel, Caterpillar, and a whole long list more that have since left Illinois. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is here, who's trying to close the deal. Governor, welcome. It's good to see you.
Good to be on.
Thank you. All right. There's so much here. Go woke, go broke. There's politics, there's economics, there's everything else. Wanted to clear one thing up, though. And I think a lot of Bears fans would want me to ask, my father-in-law in particular. Will they still be called the Chicago Bears?
I think so. I don't think it's going to be the Gary Bears or the Hammond Bears.
Or the Northern Indiana Bears. Okay. Why does Indiana even have a chance of this happening?
I think you can blame that on their own state government and the mayor of Chicago and the governor.
How so?
Well, they'd been talking to them from 3 years ago, and there was just no interest in doing anything with
When you say do anything, what do you mean in terms of getting
Well, just even talking about the terms of what it would be like. I mean, they're wanting to not be at Soldiers Field. They got a lease that still extends even beyond when a new stadium would be built, because they got to still play somewhere. And then they, I think, got a good look at what it's going to be like in a state that's got light regulations, taxes, property taxes alone. So they can see how much better it will be to have a business, just like John Deere, Illinois company, just is putting a huge distribution center in Indiana. A lot of businesses are moving across, and people, not too unlike California and New York.
Okay, so Governor Pritzker sees it, as you might imagine, slightly differently. This is him in 2025 wondering why anyone would leave Illinois. Take a listen.
I'll just say that that Indiana is a low-wage state that doesn't protect workers, a state that does not provide health care for people when they're in need. And so I don't think that it's very attractive for anybody in Illinois.
So I think you take the opposite of what he just said, and that's why people are moving into Indiana. Your cost of living and what you can get with the wages that we pay. By the way, he forgot to mention that our economy is growing fast than theirs, in a sense of double the GDP growth, 3 times that of Kentucky's, 5-6 times that of Michigan. So we've got, I think, the sweet spot of low costs, enterprise, and a government that's welcoming for families, small businesses, and even organizations like the Bears.
Okay,
John Deere.
The team is entertaining a move to Indiana as the Hoosier State prepares a competitive package to lure the team away from its home of more than 100 years. So,
when you double down on heavy regulations, high taxes, people will vote with their feet eventually. And we are an enterprising state, and economic developments, they've gotten a good peek at what doing business in a state like Indiana would be. And by the way, they started this conversation 3 years ago. 2.5 years, cold shoulder. Bears came to us. We've been working with them, and they know what it's like for a state that's open for business.
There is a limit to what the taxpayers of Illinois are willing to spend on a stadium or on infrastructure and everything else. And we're just not willing to, remember, we have a lot of things we need to invest in. It's a choice by the Bears about whether or not they want to be in the state of Illinois. I think we've had really productive conversations, which again is why I was dismayed by, the fact that they didn't even tell us they were putting it. I get that they want to keep hope alive, as they say, for another location. But they should have told us they were putting out a statement.
Is there a limit to how much money they spend in taxes for illegal immigrants in the state of Illinois or in the city of Chicago? Is there a limit there?
No.
Nope. That part. I keep telling you, I'm enjoying finding out season. Okay, I'm really enjoying it, and I honestly think all of these corporations, they need to show these blue governors, blue cities, blue mayors, blue everything. That listen, I don't have to sit here and take this. Y'all don't want to do right. I have to sit here and take this. Now I feel bad for the people that live there and jobs are lost and all that. But again, that's your fault because y'all keep voting for these people. Y'all keep putting them in office. You could tell Pritzker is lying through his teeth as he's talking. The man can't even look straight. The lies is just flying out. And this is the problem. People keep supporting, like I said, they vote like it's a sports team and not what is the best thing for our state, our city. What is the best thing? And they don't think like that. So this is why I think all of these people need to do things like that, because we're tired of the blue cities, the blue states, the blue leadership that sits there and lie in our faces while there's slush funds allegedly, there's fraud flying all over different states, taxpayers is paying, but all this money running all over the place. I mean, this ain't even got nothing to do with Chicago, but the fact that the Minnesotans now, Somalians now want reparations, and they're standing bold in reparations. Like this is crazy. As my brother Jason always says, this is crazy work. This is straight crazy work. What is happening right now?
I didn't get my crazy work hoodie.
Have the audacity to do these things and the only reason why they're so emboldened to do the things like that is because the blue leadership has basically prioritized everyone above the American citizens that put them in office. So at this point, if that means picking up and leaving, so be it for the corporations. And the people that have to live there and suffer through it, I am very sorry for those who didn't vote for it. For those who did vote for it, welcome to Finding Out season. And as everyone here said in the panel, please don't pick up your nasty blue habits and move out your city and state and then come move down to another area and try to screw it up. Don't do that. Keep that blue mentality wherever you at. We don't want it. We know what we want and we know how we want it run. So keep that mess elsewhere. But I support whatever he does. And Pritzker trying to drag Indiana. Okay. I know people that live in Indiana and they're quite happy and they're quite fine. Thank you very much.
They're losing companies like it's nobody's business. Just like New York. New York lost what? Over 300 businesses have fled New York because of the bad taxes and overregulation, and more is happening as we speak. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if the New York Stock Exchange, it moves and it moves to Texas or to Florida. There's a plethora of states that would take them in a heartbeat. And the thing is, there are some people that were like, I can't believe that Chicago Bears is going to move out of Chicago. Like, that's not a thing in the NFL. I mean, the Giants and the Jets don't play in New York. You know, San Francisco, they moved, the Niners, they moved out of San Francisco.
What
the
the Raiders
Rams don't play. The Raiders move. Like, what are we talking about? You know, and what we do know about the NFL, I mean, it is the #1 sports league in the country. And if I'm not mistaken, the world. People are going to watch their football. You know what I'm saying? Now, the NFL, they're doing some things that could potentially push people away from it, but folks going to watch their football. And if I'm not mistaken, where they're talking about moving the stadium, it's only about a 20 to 25 minute ride from where the current stadium is. So it's not that crazy.
You voted for it. And when we looked at that gentleman talking and being worried about the wrong ish, and I think about it over and over and over again, where it's like, when you're moving and staying in places where you keep pushing these politicians or wanting them to be so adversarial towards the business community, towards corporations. And I'm like, listen, there's a little give and take. What's the incentive to get them to come? What's the incentive to get them to stay? When you don't, and I realize what it is. A lot of the people that vote for this stuff, they don't have properties to worry about property taxes. They don't manage companies where they have to factor in taxes and budgets and everything. They're only thinking about themselves. There's a lack of real world experience with the people who are voting for policies that they're not in positions that will actually directly affect them until it's too late. I'm going to say this right now. When he said something, he said a key quote where he said something that stood out to me. He was like, there's a lot of things that we got to prioritize and pay for. And like Brother Y said, USA, fraud, specialty projects, Somalians.
Come on, he didn't say it. He didn't say it. That's right.
Yep. Hotel stays, vouchers for people who got here yesterday. At some level, y'all gonna wake up and realize that you was played. You was played. So my view is a very simple one, honestly, with the situation. If you keep voting like this and you live in the blue city, you actually don't deserve a professional team. That's what that actually means, because you're going to do things that's going to warrant the ownership wanting to leave.
Mhm.
So I'm going to say it to all you Chicagoans that voted for this. Don't move to Indiana and cause them to lose the Bears as well.
Come on.
Stay your happy butt in Chicago and
Facts.
accept the consequences of your actions.
Amen.
Y'all voted for people who prioritize not Chicagoans, but everything else.
That's right.
Man, so most of y'all know I'm originally from Chicago. So when I was growing up, there was this little PSA, encourage people to go to different states around there. And the one for Indiana was there's more than corn in Indiana. And they would talk about all the different things that you could do when you came to Indiana to travel and go on vacation. Well, there's clearly more than corn in Indiana now. They want the Bears. And I'm here for it. I am here for competition. Now, I do think it's interesting. The governor of Indiana that we saw right there is a Republican. And so it makes 100% sense that I think more Republican governors should start poaching from these blue states, these blue cities, these sanctuary cities. They might as well just say they're for sale, for poaching. It might be a garage sale sign, and just start reaching out to them and say, hey, I mean, if all they got to do is, because the Bears Stadium is old. I mean, when we're looking at some of the newer stadiums now, Soldiers Field is old hat, is old. And they're trying to build a new stadium. And they say, hey, we'll build you a new stadium. Just come 20 minutes down the road. Just come on down there. Just 20 minutes. That's all it is. Just come 20 minutes. And now, granted, you're going 20 minutes into another state, but let's not digress here. I think it's a wonderful thing. And I think more Republicans should start looking at, you know what, we're going to start taking advantage of y'all. And we're gonna poach the big companies. We're gonna poach Caterpillar. I'm joking about it when I said the New York Stock Exchange come to Georgia, but I wasn't joking. Like, start looking, say, hey, we have room here in downtown Atlanta, the underground Atlanta.
Underground has been vacant for a minute.
For better than a decade. The underground Atlanta could be the underground New York Stock Exchange. Next Tuesday, ready to go on Wednesday. What are we doing? And I think we should start poaching from them and let them know. But on the same note, let me just say one more time, we can take your company and we'll give you the space. We'll give you all the benefits. Just do me a favor. Please make sure you leave your politics up there wherever the heck you came from. Don't bring that down here. Don't even play games with us.
Once again, we are witnessing the end of urbanization. The lie of urbanization was exposed, most dramatically exposed during COVID. And it exposed this Democrat racket that they have been running for 200 years, which is if you live and work in these cities, these blue cities, you have higher inflated salaries. In exchange, they will give you those higher and inflated salaries in exchange for your vote and power. And that is what they have been able to do for 200 years. They dress it up in this multiculturalism and in arts and culture and tech sectors and all of these other great things that these metropolises are supposed to offer you. When all that was shut down, people were in COVID, that's when the lie got exposed. So the Bears are very likely going to move, and they are not the only ones. A lot of people, companies, and individuals are realizing that this promise is not what it was cracked up to be. Because even though you may get these inflated and higher salaries, the cost of living is so high that it makes those salaries irrelevant. So you are actually poorer living there than you would be somewhere else on a lower salary, but the cost of living is lower as well. So what people don't realize and what they're starting to find out is living in these places, making all this money is actually making you poorer. So I think we're going to see, like I said, it's going to be, slow. Everyone's not leaving all at once, but they're leaving in significant enough numbers that is doing damage to the places where Democrats rule fiscally. This is why you see these crazy budgets. We have $1 billion deficit here and hundreds of millions of dollars of deficit there. Of course you are, because it costs too much to live there. Because not only do you have to pay for all of the American citizens who who are busy disassociating, you also have to pay for the illegals. Much of this deficit is created not even by Americans. It's by all of the goods and services that it took to, quote, resettle these illegals. So people are getting tired of this, and people are leaving, and they want schools that work. Like Freed said in the other segment, they want predictable sanitation. They want schools that work. They want a government that's efficient. And they're realizing it is going to be impossible to get that in Democrat places where Democrats rule. And they know that that's not going to happen for them. So I think that we are really in a seismic shift. And we're going to have to figure out, like Jay Witt is saying, one, how to not let them corrupt the places that are functioning well. And then two, for those who don't leave, and we know this is an envious, covetous people, what to do with their anger when they realize that they're stuck there with no money and nothing.
Hey, listen, first of all, I'm surprised that it took this long for them to decide they're going to leave. And secondly, I'm curious as to why that Indiana's letting them keep the name Chicago Bears. I mean, I don't get that. It must be some kind of marketing issue, but that just to me don't make no sense. You come to Indiana.
The Gary Bears is lame though. Yeah, Gary Bears is crazy.
They still can come up with something.
But you also got to think, Minister Denzel, the licensing aspect of things.
Yeah.
When Washington changed their name from the Redskins to the Commanders, it took them like 2 or 3 years to do it because they have a whole bunch of merch already printed up and all this other kind of stuff. It's a money thing.
Right. The New York teams and the New York teams in North Jersey are not changing their name.
Yeah, they're not changing it from New York to New Jersey.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
The Jackson 5 Bears is crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with Chicago once I got over there. That's how bad they are. I mean, that's a disaster city. That's a national disaster city right now with the crime and everything.
Real.
So yeah, I mean, it's I want to say this, and it's not on the move right now, but. When a company goes out of a big company goes out of business, they usually will leave, drop the name, and then come up with another name and then start a new business under another name, right? Well, the Democrats are doing so bad. I'm just wondering how long it's going to take before they have to change their name as a political party. I mean, just dump the name and come up with something else because there's so much garbage connected to that name, that title Democrat. That at some point there's going to have to be a major change because people are going to wake up eventually. I just got this feeling that somewhere along the line, enough people are going to wake up until their name's not going to mean nothing.
Absolutely. I want to hear from you guys in the comment sections. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, He gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, it can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. And the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.